Today, exactly 5 years ago, I stood on this spot in Hart Bay, filled with excitement and enthusiasm about launching the Stars in the Rise project. So after 5 years, I've come back to this place to ask some questions and to speak to some of our people. Have we indeed delivered the things that we said we would? Have we managed to do the right things? But most importantly, have we managed to change lives? One of the most colourful figures of the past 5 years in the Stars in the Rise project has certainly been Ricardo Phillips, also known as Bob Marley. I often refer to him as my brother from another mother. He is here with me today in Hart Bay, and I'd like to talk to him to find out exactly what has happened in his life since 2007.
I was playing a game of football, but I didn't have much knowledge as a coach. So I was expecting on getting some nice exercises on how to coach youngsters and so on. But what happened at the course, it changed my whole life, you know. Because I learned more than what football can give me today. I actually learned how to become a role model and how to keep youngsters off the street, to develop them properly in football. So I would really say the course itself was the best part that could ever happen to me. In 2007 we were standing on the same ground. It was sand and grass on the edges. Now, as you can see, it's a nice artificial turf, which is all thanks to Stars, because this is what it came up to. So the work that we put in from 2007 paid off with this nice artificial turf.
Early in 2010, Stars in the Rise created a collaboration with a well-known Dutch photographer, Robin Utrecht. Robin came to South Africa, came to Hart Bay, and he made photographs of what we were doing in Stars in the Rise. This series of photographs ended up hanging at our national airport Schiphol for a period of a month during the World Championships 2010. Let's take a look at this series of photographs. Another person without whom the project would definitely have been a lot poorer if she'd not been here is Desiree Ellis. Most people have heard of this legendary ex-captain of Banyana Banyana. She received many awards, amongst others a silver medal from the State President of South Africa. She's a fellow of the Laureus Foundation. But yet, even as a top sports person, she still lives in the village of Hanover Park, where she grew up. Desiree was instrumental in setting up the Women Taking the Lead project within Stars in the Rise. This is a project which is aimed at training 250 female coaches all over the country. Let's take a drive out to Hanover Park and talk to Desiree.
My passion obviously is women's football. I got involved in Stars at the end of 2008, beginning of 2009. We then went to the prison as well in Drakenstein, and for me it was so great to interact with those gentlemen there, because yes, we all make mistakes, but their mistakes were worse than ours. But the whole idea of the project is that I go out there and make a difference. I believe that we put on this earth to make a difference, not just to be. So I'm excited about seeing a smile on someone's face, and as we say, putting a star in someone's eye. Through Stars in the Eyes, I was given that opportunity to go out there and interact with people, interact with the community, interact with the young kids. And we teach them a little bit of life skills as well, because we believe that that is so important in our communities. And through the Stars in the Eyes program, there's already been boys that have gone on to play at PSL teams. So it just goes to show that if we plant that little seed in the beginning, it grows, and eventually we use that, the kids use that little seed to become someone for some other kids to look up to and become role models. And we believe that it's such a good program. It's such an awesome program where I just get up in the morning and I have a smile on my face, and whatever Stars says there is, I just go out and do, because that is what we're all about. Giving someone a life filled with possibilities, and the possibilities are endless.
We were the pioneers of the first tour of the Stars congregation to go to the Netherlands on our expedition to see how we can improve on coaching in our communities. I've been involved in football coaching since my high school career and been in football playing, and it has been quite a privilege to have been involved in football. And up until today, 5 years later, after I've been involved in the Stars Foundation or been introduced to the Stars Foundation, many things has happened in my small community, whereby many of the young children has been exposed to football. And yeah, football has been changing my life in many ways.
Stars was not only focusing on football, but also focusing in a life skills program for us as coaches and the youth at large. Because as we know in our communities, teaching football is not just a small thing, but if you mix it with life skills program, it becomes better for children. I'm recommending that Stars in Their Eyes is the only initiative that in my community I see it as successful as it is.
I joined Stars in Their Eyes 2007 after my release from prison in 2006. I went to prison in 2004 for housebreaking and theft. Coming to the course in Stellenbosch, the very first of Stars in Their Eyes, I started to realize that there is hope. There is hope beyond prison.
We're standing in front of the Drakenstein Correctional Facility. This is the facility where Nelson Mandela spent the last days of his imprisonment.
Nelson Mandela is a free man. At 2:15 today, our time, he walked from the gates of Victor Verster prison hand in hand with his wife Winnie. Some 500,000 people waited in Cape Town for hours to hear their leader.
Stars in the Eyes run a project called New Beginnings at the Medium B Youth Facility at the Drakenstein Correctional Facility.
Some of these young boys have committed crime due to peer pressure, and committing crime due to peer pressure, it involves a lot of issues. It's either there's drugs were involved, it's either they were under the influence of alcohol, or either it's peer pressure, or either the environment in which they grew up in. It's a very violent environment.
Sport is very important because since I've been here, when I came here in 2003, sport didn't had a huge impact because we didn't go out a lot. But as soon as I moved to the medium section of this facility, I started to see changes in a lot of guys. The guys who had negative mindsets.
I, for one, I grab each opportunity and just getting guys who are willing to invest into us, who are guys that have offended, and just play a part in our lives. Not even mentioning football itself. It means so much because there's a society that has their own perspective about us being in prison. And being the person I am and being where I am and having people come from outside, it really means a lot.
But I think the aim of this program is not to make more Christian. I think it's to make more leaders. Because some of us we go back to our communities and try to give back and show the youngsters that crime does not pay.
I'm very excited to be involved in the Women Legacy Program, which was formerly known as Women Taking the Lead Program, where we educated females. This year the plan is to educate another 150 females in coaching courses. We're also very thankful for the support of the KNVB, which is the Dutch Football Association, the Dutch government, and also Nomsa Mashlangu of the South African Women's Football Association, women's chairperson, who's been very instrumental in lending us support. Yes, we have coaches that have been educated through the first course from Johannesburg and Kimberley, but our whole idea is to roll it out to all the other provinces so that women can take the lead and empower other kids in their communities as well.
The area which Desiree operates in is also referred to as the Cape Flats. It consists of communities such as Mitchells Plain, Hanover Park, Bontehevel, Lentegeer. The biggest problems facing these communities are related to drugs and gangs. Drug dealers and gang leaders rule the roost in these areas. And it is within this environment that Desiree uses football to inspire the youths to stay away from drugs and from gangs. Another unique role model within the Stars in Their Eyes organization is Larry Joe. Larry Joe is a convicted criminal who spent years in prison for the crimes that he committed. He was a drug dealer, he was a gang leader. When Larry Joe was released from prison, he decided to use his talents, namely singing and songwriting, to inspire the youth in his communities not to become involved in drugs and gangs. Subsequently, he became involved with the Stars in the Rise project and today is our formal Goodwill ambassador. Larry Joe visits the clinics of Stars in the Rise and he inspires our coaches to do things differently, to use his life story to inspire youths not to become involved in drugs and gangs. This is Larry Joe's story.
Listen to the words that I say, and come to think I'm lying. And today I was crying. Someone in my history, believe it on my agony. I never would have guessed that today.
I was squalirous, man, you know. I didn't come to prison the first time like, what's gonna happen now? I was prepared for anything to, you know, I was hard gebakt. Don't do drugs and don't get involved in gangsterism. There's only two ways out of it. Or you die, or you go to prison. But the most important thing of all is, you win or lose by the way you choose. You choose what you wanna do, what you wanna be. And you can't blame anybody else for our mistakes. You must take responsibility for your actions.
We're coming out of poor societies like townships and the Cape Flats. We always see the guys coming out of prison wear gold chains, wear gold, you know, and driving, it's 3 months out and we're driving expensive cars. So we actually admiring them. We started relating to them and we want to be like them, you know. So yeah, I mean, there's little role models and I want to be a role model. I mean, I want people to not just to, you know, I don't want to be a bling person. I just want to be me and I want to set a goal for you guys to see that if Larry could achieve that, I could also achieve it. As Larry, die kan gedala, die kan ook dala. You know what I'm saying?
Wasithanda, wasisiza, siyabonga usindisile. Hallelujah, kubuhlungu, Baba siyakubonga, kulungu wakho. That's what my body feels if I have disease, and I'm craving to be kissed. Yeah, untouchable. That's what my body feels if I have disease.
5 years Stars in the Rise. From 2007 to this very day in 2012, we have been blessed to be able to work with beautiful people who are all active in this beautiful country, South Africa. We have seen how these people of Stars in the Rise can change the lives of other people, how they can inspire each other, and how they can indeed bring positive effects to their communities. Today, as we stand here, we have 475 coaches active in 173 communities all over South Africa. We hope that this review of 5 years Stars in the Rise has shown you what indeed is possible if humans decide to help each other. And we also hope that this video will inspire each and every one of you to become involved.